Brace yourselves for what could be the most turbulent economic storm yet to sweep across the UK. Eamon Holmes, British broadcasting legend, has ignited a firestorm, taking direct aim at Labour's Rachel Reeves over her shocking plans for tax increases that could leave businesses on the ropes and families stretched to their limits. Holmes has lashed out, warning of a looming tax hike nightmare he insists Britain simply cannot endure. But the real stunner here is how this clash is intensifying as we delve deeper into the troubling decisions fueling this political inferno. Behind every policy and every tax decision lies a scandalous web of hidden motives, dodgy financial manoeuvring, and mounting accusations that could topple the very stability of Starmer's Labour government. Now, let's dive into the latest bombshell details, including explosive criticisms from both sides of the political spectrum and shocking revelations from economic experts. This is more than just tax hikes. It's about trust, integrity, and the potential economic disaster that's sparking a nationwide uproar. Stay tuned for every twist and turn, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you're as eager as we are to uncover the truth in this scandal that's shaking Britain to its core. Eamon Holmes's fiery condemnation of Rachel Reeves's impending tax plans is a warning that has stirred the nation's concerns into a frenzy. As the Labour Chancellor gears up to announce her first budget, one particular measure is sending shockwaves through the public, a planned increase in employer national insurance contributions, projected to pull a whopping £17 billion annually from the business sector. This tax, Holmes argues, is nothing short of a crushing blow to British business, one that he claims will ultimately backfire on working people, the very group Reeves has promised to shield. Speaking with his characteristic bluntness, Holmes didn't hold back. On air, he denounced the Labour government's plans as ill-informed and lacking real-world insight. The trouble with politicians, he declared, is they have no business experience. It's all idealism, but in the real world, people are already taxed to the hilt. His frustration was palpable, and it only grew as he discussed the impact on everyday Brits, saying, "Leave people alone. Create wealth if you want to make the country better off." What's particularly shocking here is the Labour Party's audacious stance. Reeves and her allies defend the national insurance increase as a necessity to fill what they call a £22 billion black hole in the public finances, a deficit they pin on the former Tory government. But critics argue that Labour is using this deficit as a smokescreen for questionable fiscal policies that could drag the UK economy to unprecedented lows. Labour's claim: the increase won't touch working people, yet economists argue that employers who are forced to pay more in national insurance may pass those costs down, impacting wages and job security for countless employees. The backlash from business owners has been intense. Dairy farmer Sam Hanna, for one, has expressed frustration, accusing the government of mismanaging funds extracted from the private sector. "It's insult added to injury," he says, lamenting how taxes supposedly designated for the public good often end up squandered on bureaucratic inefficiencies in sectors like healthcare and banking. His viewpoint, shared by many in the private sector, paints a bleak picture of waste and incompetence at the hands of a government that, critics say, is squeezing every last penny from the backbone of the economy. And the financial nightmare doesn't end there. Recent developments in the bond market have only deepened the sense of impending crisis. Yields on 10-year government bonds, a crucial indicator of confidence in national stability, have surpassed the rates seen during Liz Truss's chaotic mini-budget, a development that's left even staunch Labour supporters reeling. This shift has triggered alarming questions about whether the economic instability, once attributed to the Tories, might now be a product of Labour's own policies. In a scathing assessment, Conservative heavyweight Jacob Rees-Mogg openly questioned if Reeves was crashing the economy even more dramatically than Liz Truss ever did. Rees-Mogg explained that the skyrocketing bond yields, in his view, signal a crisis of confidence in the UK's financial direction. "When the markets are nervous," he said, "the cost of borrowing increases and that burden will eventually fall on taxpayers." He suggested that Reeves's decision to rewrite fiscal rules and authorise an additional £50 billion in borrowing may have sent shockwaves through the financial sector, triggering fears of a future riddled with higher taxes and fewer resources for public spending. The news only gets worse as Reeves prepares to announce further austerity measures, including controversial cuts to the winter fuel payments that support millions of pensioners each year. Conservative MP Mel Stride, a vocal critic of the cuts, recently delivered a petition to the Treasury with over 250,000 signatures from Britons demanding the immediate cancellation of this policy. The outcry is visceral, as pensioners, many already facing hardships due to soaring energy costs, may now be forced to make impossible choices between heating and eating as winter draws near. Stride's impassioned plea to the Chancellor rings out as he warns of the devastating impact on the most vulnerable. It means 10 million pensioners losing out, and 2/3 of those pensioners are already below the poverty line, he exclaimed. These are political choices Labour is making to placate their union allies while pensioners pay the price. The looming cuts come even as the energy price cap has been lifted by 10%, further inflaming public outrage. The left-wing response has hardly been supportive either. Unite Union's General Secretary, Sharon Graham, has urged Reeves to reconsider, blasting Labour for prioritising train drivers over pensioners, in a move she claims reflects misplaced priorities. Graham's rebuke underscores the growing fissures within Labour's support base, as more left-leaning factions question whether Reeves and Starmer are truly committed to their professed mission of economic reform and public welfare. Meanwhile, an entirely separate scandal surrounding the Labour government's handling of immigration policy has erupted. Former Home Office Minister Robert Jenrick, in a stunning admission, revealed that everyone in Cabinet knew the Rwanda deportation policy, introduced by the Tories, was doomed to fail. The policy, which aimed to relocate asylum seekers to Rwanda, has been mired in controversy and legal challenges, and Jenrick's candid remarks have thrown new light on the inner workings of the government. He admitted, "There was a choice for me: take a bill through Parliament, which I knew didn't work, or leave government and speak out." These admissions only add fuel to the fire of public discontent as Britons grapple with policies that seem to prioritise political image over effective governance. Jenrick's candid comments, coupled with Reeves's contentious economic measures, paint a picture of a government in turmoil, one that is either unwilling or unable to steer the country towards stability. In the coming days, as Reeves unveils her budget and the bond markets continue their volatile climb, the British public is left wondering if Labour can deliver on its promises, or if the nation is about to witness one of the most dramatic economic downfalls in recent history. The stakes are high, and with public trust in the balance, all eyes are on Reeves and Starmer to see if they can navigate this crisis without leaving the nation in economic ruin.